Today on Rappler. The Philippine government determines exit points for Filipinos evacuating conflict-hit Sudan. A DOJ official says the Philippines can only get $284 million from insurers of sunken empty Princess Empress. The registration of SIM cards has been extended by 90 days from the April 26 deadline. Russia's Sakharov Center prepares to close after Moscow authorities tag it as a, quote, foreign agent. Toy maker Mattel introduces its new Barbie doll with Down syndrome. Reports say American singer Halsey splits from boyfriend Alev Aydin and seeks full custody of their son. And Red Velvet's Joy will miss the Manila leg of the group's R2V concert due to health reasons. The Department of Migrant Workers says the Philippine government is evacuating overseas Filipino workers fleeing clashes in Sudan. Migrant Workers Secretary Susan Ople says the 3 exit points include land, air, and sea travel. Ople adds President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directives were to get all affected OFWs to safety as quickly as possible and to assist regardless of documentation. The DFA says many of the OFWs in Sudan are professionals like teachers and engineers, while some are domestic workers. Meantime, Philippine Ambassador to Egypt Ezedin Tago and Vice Consul Boher Kapati figure in a car accident in Egypt while on their way to help evacuate Filipinos in Sudan. The DFA confirms the officials are unharmed and are proceeding to the border somehow later on Wednesday. Clashes between the Sudan Armed Forces and Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group killed at least 427 people and turned residential areas into war zones. A Department of Justice official says the Philippines can only get $284 million or roughly 15.7 billion pesos from the insurers of MT Princess Empress and from the International Oil Pollution Compensation Funds. Owner of MT Princess Empress, RDC Rail Marine Services, had said it was insured for $1 billion or 55.56 billion pesos. Justice Undersecretary Raul Vasquez discloses the revised amount in an interview with ABS-CBN following a meeting with the IOPC, an international organization whose mandate is to assist member states that suffer from oil spills. In that meeting, IOPC Director Gauto Sivertson, who visited some oil spill-affected areas, said all persons and entities affected by the oil spill can claim insurance. These include government agencies like the Coast Guard that are doing cleanup operations. The registration of SIM cards has been extended by 90 days from the April 26 deadline. Information and Communications Technology Secretary Ivan John Uy says this is the public's last chance to register their SIM cards as the law sets a hard limit for extensions.
We all had an extensive deliberation on that, and we feel that 90 days is more than reasonable enough time for everybody to register.
After SIM cards are deactivated following the extension period, Uy warns users will lose their number, ability to make and receive calls, and access to e-wallets and other services linked to their phone number. Uy says in the 30 days after the deadline, the DICT may deactivate all unregistered SIM cards and conduct a, quote, catch-up registration to allow their users to reactivate them. Meanwhile, those facing difficulties in registration, such as users in remote areas, are advised to coordinate with their barangay. One of Russia's leading pro-democracy and human rights centers, the Sakharov Center, is preparing to close after receiving an eviction notice from the Moscow municipality due to its designation as a, quote, foreign agent. With a May 2 deadline looming, the Sakharov Center's chairman says its task for now is to save its books and artifacts for better times, adding, quote, we don't know when those better times will come. Named after Nobel laureate and Soviet dissident Andrei Sakharov, the center not only provided information about his work, but also housed an exhibit on Soviet leader Joseph Stalin's purges and prison camps and offered a forum for pro-democracy activists. Authorities accuse rights activists of being unpatriotic and close to hostile foreign governments at a time when Russia is waging a war over Ukraine. Toy maker Mattel introduces its first Barbie with Down syndrome in a bid to make its famous doll range more inclusive. Mattel says it worked with the National Down Syndrome Society in the United States to make the doll. The latest Barbie has a shorter frame and longer torso compared to other Barbies. Mattel says, quote, the doll's palms even include a single line, a characteristic often associated with those with Down syndrome. Mattel Executive Vice President Lisa McKnight says their goal is to, quote, enable all children to see themselves in Barbie, while also encouraging children to play with dolls who do not look like themselves. Us Weekly and Billboard report singer Halsey parts ways with boyfriend Alev Aydin after 3 years and seeks full physical custody of their 1-year-old son, Ender Ridley. The mutual decision to split was reportedly, quote, amicable. Halsey, 28, files a petition seeking primary physical custody of Ender, which includes joint legal custody and joint expenses with Alev, and for Alev to have visitation rights. Halsey welcomed her first child with a screenwriter and film producer in July 2021. Joy of K-pop girl group Red Velvet will no longer participate in the group's upcoming RTV concert in Manila due to health concerns. Local concert promoter Pulp Live World makes the announcement, saying, quote, "We are hoping for your understanding and support." Only 4 members, Irene, Solgi, Wendy, and Yeri, will take the stage on May 7 at the Mall of Asia Arena. SM Entertainment announces Joy will temporarily suspend her activities for health reasons, saying, quote, "Joy recently visited a hospital due to her poor health condition, and the medical staff advised that she needs treatment and rest." Joy was unable to complete the entire RTV concert in Singapore on April 21. And that's today's wrap. I'm Nina Liu. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.